It's time for Lefties Losing It. And you know, when I think about the wonders of the natural world, I immediately think of puberty blockers, bottom surgery and other irreversible trans treatments, don't you? Let's check what is happening at Yosemite National Park.
We carry the largest trans pride flag to ever be flown in a national park and unfurled it on the side of El Cap to prove a point that trans is natural. The Trump administration and transphobes would love to have you believe that being trans is unnatural, but species that can transition sexes can be found on every continent and in every ocean on planet Earth. They try to erase us from government websites and education systems and libraries, so we raise this flag higher than ever before.
Yes, thanks for ruining the photos of people who travel to Yosemite for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. That unauthorised little stunt was shut down by park authorities and the flag has been thankfully removed. Okay, from that absurdity to another, here is a disabled trans Muslim pro-Palestinian woman activist, identifies as a woman. This should be a comedy sketch, but apparently it is all too real and this gentleman is very serious.
I stand before you all as a proud Kashmiri trans Muslim woman. I'm disabled and this state hates that. This state has burned trans and disabled people to create a smokescreen to cover the further bodies that they are burning around the world.
The delusion is beyond measure. You know where there are no trans Muslim men in dress protesting in the streets in any Muslim majority country.
And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, Cardiff. Today, I stand and I march for the liberation of my people in the trans community, my people in the disabled community, my people in the Kashmiri community, to my beloved Palestinian people, to all of these people and the intersections that they represent, who meet me where I stand at the crossroads of so many places of suffering. We will all be free, inshallah.
What's that line like? Turkeys cheering for Christmas. Now here is a triggered Karen claiming that she is not a Karen.
I'm sick and tired of Trump supporters calling me a Karen. You have no idea what that means. A Karen is privileged, entitled, microaggressive racism, anti-vax. Who does that sound like? The Trump administration? Trump followers? You're the Karens.
Oh, sure, Karen, whatever you say. Now to a former Karen who has seen the light. After a lifetime of voting Democrat, she found herself living among gangbangers in the country illegally. They'll wake anybody up.
So you were a Democrat?
I was, my whole life.
Really?
I first voted for Bill Clinton and voted Democrat every single year until, November. If that it was not for Donald Trump, we might still be living next to gang members because everything changed after he was elected.
So you feel a lot safer now that he's in the White House again? I
do, because he's taking it seriously. The Democrats simply ignored it. They said it was lies. They won't talk to people who have been victimized by this.
Now, this next clip must be music to her ears. Here is the official account of Homeland Security. I'm not kidding. This is the official account posting a video of Donald Trump saying bye-bye to criminal illegal immigrants who have been deported.
Bye-bye. 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 Okay? Bye-bye. 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 Bye. Bye. Bye-bye. 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 Bye. Bing. Bing. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's it. Bye-bye. Wave goodbye.
Now, here is the brilliant Megyn Kelly holding Jake Tapper to account for his culpability, his complicity in the great cover-up on Joe Biden's cognitive decline that he's now pretending to expose in his new book. This is beautiful stuff, folks. Enjoy.
Over here in my ecosphere, we were covering all of these. It wasn't just falling down. It was getting lost. It was some of the stuff you report in your book, we knew and we were reporting on, like the multi-jump cuts in the videos of him, or it was obvious he couldn't get through a 1-minute take. It was clear to us that he was using teleprompter, and there was some reporting on that at the time, all of which the White House was denying. Now, the current White House, I have some connections. With the Joe Biden White House, I had none. But you did. There was an attempted cover-up. It could only ever work if you allowed it, if the press allowed it. Some of us tried not to, and some of us were complicit.
And she was not going to let up when Jake Tapper again tried to rewrite history by claiming that he covered the Wall Street Journal's expose on Biden. Indeed, he did the opposite. He did everything he could to discredit the story, and Megyn was there to remind him.
That's the point, is that they were not being honest. That's the point.
Well, how did the Wall Street Journal get it in June of 2024? And Jake Tapper and CNN couldn't find sources for this story then before he dropped out?
Annie Linsky and Siobhan Hughes did an amazing job in their reporting. And they should be heralded, and I heralded them. I had them on my show right after the debate to talk about their great reporting. But Annie Linsky...
After the debate. But you did not put them on when they published that story, which was before the debate.
Correct. I don't know what the booking situation was, but it wasn't because I didn't want them. I'm sure I said that day, let's book. I'm sure I said that day, let's book that. Did they? Yeah, you
put on a Democrat, and you allowed the Democrat to rip on the report as a Rupert Murdoch sponsored hit piece.
No.
It's just
Megyn,
that's
Megyn,
what happened.
If we're going to do this, let's just stick to the facts here, okay? When there is a damaging report...
That's what I've been doing all along.
I'm talking about what you just said.
Didn't miss the biggest story of the century when it comes to presidential politics, and one of us did.
That was beautiful, wasn't it? And now you've got Jake Tapper out there, the Russian collusion hoax spreader, the Biden cognitive decline cover-up participant. Now he wants the media to be aggressive about Donald Trump's health records.
Worry less about politeness when it comes to these health issues, and needs to be even more aggressive when it comes to demanding transparency on health issues when it comes to the president. President Trump, while he appears healthy, he has not been transparent about his health records. And I think that that's something that the American people have a right to.
The audacity is breathtaking. Now to the WNBA, and here is the woman that the Biden administration swapped for the merchant of death after she got herself arrested on drug charges in Russia. Here is Brittany Griner on the bench, seemingly mouthing trash and saying effing white girl. Could it be about Caitlin Clark, I wonder? And here she is in a post-match interview, just being a delight.
BG, right now you have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding. We're going to send it back to you guys.
And to make the league even less appealing, the Minnesota Lynx decided to hold in front of a mostly empty stadium a moment of silence for George Floyd. You remember him, the felon who died with a fatal level of fentanyl in his system and who had a long record of criminality and violence, including against women. Yes, the WNBA thought this was a good idea.
Thank you guys for taking a minute to honor the life of George Floyd. George was a father, a brother, and a son. And his life, like every life, held meaning. His death exposed the holes that are still in our justice and criminal institutions today. And his 5-year anniversary reminds us that we must continue the fight against criminal, racial, and social injustices. We cannot stay silent. Every life deserves respect and dignity. Thank you.
Yes, every life should be respected, including the life of Floyd's female victims. That includes the victim of an aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon in which George Floyd and 5 others forced their way into a woman's apartment, and where Floyd pushed a pistol against the abdomen of the female victim, threatening her life. That's the character WNBA want to elevate to hero status, deserving of a tribute on the 5th anniversary of his death. Joining me now is American Culture Project Senior Fellow and School Choice Advocate Corey DeAngelis. Corey, is the WNBA determined to fail? Why does it want to repel so much of its potential audience with this sort of activism?
Yeah, the WNBA is burning itself into the ground with these kind of publicity stunts. They should focus on sports, but they're not so good at that. So I guess they're focusing on all of this political ideology and getting it onto the court. But look, you can't make this stuff up. They've operated at a loss each year since its inception about 30 years ago. And last year they operated at about a $50 million loss, about 5 times the average loss each year in the WNBA. So,
wow.
I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. And look, the stadium is empty. You can see it on the screen. Basically, based on their track record of not having an audience, they have a moment of silence basically every game. So this is not so new since no one's there anyway.